As our first caller of the night. Hello, Pee Wee. Good evening.
Good evening, Eli. Coach, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Pee Wee. How are you?
I'm doing well. Coach, over the last few weeks, our offensive line has made some improvement, but there still seems to be, some problems with pre-snap errors, and we're getting pressure in off of the left-hand side of the line a lot of times on the speed rush. I'm just wondering what can be done to kind of slow that down without having to put a back over on that side to help that.
Well, Pee Wee, I was going to ask you the same question. I mean, you're the offensive line coach. You call every week, and we talk about the offensive line. You know more about the offensive line than I do, so why don't you tell me what you think? What do you think we ought to do?
Well, we need to put a back over there at times to help Caden get some protection in, because a lot of time on the speed rush from that side is where the pressure comes from. A lot of it doesn't come from the right on the speed rush, but it does come from the left. So, besides putting a back over there, and I don't know unless you put a tight end, to help that rush, that would be my plan.
Well, I think I'm in total agreement with you that we've been very inconsistent at times in pass protection. Some of it has been created by the left side of the line, which I think there are strategic things that we can do to try to help that side of the line. You mentioned several of them. And but I also think that we've made some mistakes sometimes in pressure and in terms of how we block pressures, and I think that comes from communication, which can come from really good preparation and really good confidence. I think if you look at the myriad of things that people do on third down now that create problems in pass protection, whether it's I always talk about simulators, where somebody rushes, it's supposed to be dropping, and somebody drops, it's supposed to be rushing. When you put that in a combination of, okay, we're going to block these four guys on the mic, well, two of those guys drop and two other guys come over here. I mean, I think that's probably one of the biggest changes in defensive football in the last 5 or 6 years. I think probably the Baltimore Ravens were the first people to do this, several years ago, and created lots of problems. So, and I think that then you have man pressures that create the same kind of problems. You got a freshman playing left tackle who's a very talented guy. He's working, he's getting better, and he's going to continue to get better and be an outstanding player. But he's a freshman. And I know the expectation is that we can replace anybody, anytime, and they're going to step in and play like a first-round draft pick. But that's not necessarily the case. We all have to have time to develop players. And one of the things that, if you take the 10 guys that went in the portal, they were all juniors and seniors. If you take the 10 guys that replaced them, they're all freshmen and sophomores. All right, so you end up having a younger team, and you end up having to develop players from a lower level of experience and knowledge, which helps create confidence and communication, and all these things help guys play with a better consistency of performance. And that consistency of performance is what defines success. Now, our team has made a lot of progress. I'm proud of our team. We got to keep making that progress. Some of it's psychological, some of it's ability to communicate and execute at every position. So just like last week, we lost our collective focus in the game. Halfway through the third quarter, we go through ahead 24-6, and everybody just lost their collective focus. I mean, their mental intensity, their energy level, everybody got relief syndrome because we were ahead in the game. We get a penalty, they get a first down, they go down and score, the momentum of the game changes, and once you lose that, it's hard to get it back. So the lesson to be learned for our team and that young team, we got to play for 60 minutes. You got to have the poise and the confidence to keep playing the next play. You can't get frustrated when something goes bad. All right, so you just got to keep playing for 60 minutes in a game. You can't look at the scoreboard. You can't let all these external factors impact what happens in a game, because basically you control what happens in the game by what you do. So if you're letting all these other things affect what you do, that's not necessarily going to help you be successful. So, and all this is a part of growing up. I mean, if any of you all out there have had kids, you've gone through this a little bit with your own kids. And we just got a bunch of them, that's all.
Yeah.